Well, once again, welcome to Prime Morning, and my name is Razak Musbao. You just heard from Kweku Asante there with a very, very bold presentation on that case involving Dr. Kwabena Dufo. And also, he touched on what happened to our colleague Carlos Kaloni. Very unfortunate occurrence there. We'll touch base on that in the course of our discussion today. We'll talk about it. We're going to spend some time to talk about it because we know the presidency has released a statement. The army has also released a statement. Even multimedia has released a statement, and we'll share all of that with you. If you haven't seen what exactly happened, we'll share visuals of what happened at the Spinters Road yesterday. Very unfortunate incident. But let's get into the papers and bring you up to speed on what has been captured in the papers. But in studio to help me do that, I've got lawyer Kwame Jantwa. He's a regular on the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very good. I hope you're doing well too.
I'm breathing.
Wonderful.
You said, what gentleman did?
Kweku Asante.
Kweku Asante.
Yes.
You said he gave a bold what?
A bold presentation.
A bold presentation.
Yes.
Why did you call it bold?
Well, it's bold. I mean, it's indeed bold.
Is it true or is it false?
Well, it's his opinion, so it's a bold presentation as far as his opinions are concerned. And I've also got in studio is the former member of Parliament for the Anyasotum constituency, Dr. Adumaku Kisi is my former member of Parliament. I'm a constituent of his, live in his area, and he is also in studio regular on the show. Doc, good to have you. Good morning.
Good morning, and I think I'm happy to be here. After the show, we'll be coming for your property tax rates and things like that. You're my resident.
Yes.
Anyways, it's nice to be here.
Great. I've also got Professor Michael Ayamga. He is the Deputy CEO of the EPA. Prof, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning, It's nice to have you here. Always nice to share the Thursday morning with Senior Lawyer Jantwa and my friend Honorable.
It's nice to have you.
Who is so, yes, it's always great, and let's see what they hold.
Yeah, great. Let's get into the papers now before we get into some of the issues I'll be talking about. As I mentioned, that assault on our colleague will feature heavily on our discussion today. We'll also spend some time on the Road Minister's press conference yesterday. Is a major government agenda on roads. We'll try and bring you up to speed on some of the roads, some of the communities that are going to benefit from it, and also the Akwatia by-election, which the EC has finally set a date. We want to try and ask the NDC if indeed you're going to contest this election after garnering 2/3 in Parliament. Are they still interested in the Akwatia seat? We'll try and hear from them on that. But I've got the finder here, and the front page, it says CD up 40.7% against the dollar in 7 months. That's a major win for the economy. And also says Ghana's trade surplus surges to $5.57 billion in first half of 2025. And then says public debt drops by some 156 billion cedis. 156 billion cedis. That's massive. That's what the finder has captured on their front page. Prof, what have you got on your front page?
Yes, I have the Observer, and boldly in front is the Roads Minister, saying the days of uncontrolled contract awards are over. We have ADB recording 230 million profit in 6 months. This is another remarkable story. This is a bank that was almost driven under, and many were thinking about when it will collapse and not if. But to have this turnaround in such a short time shows that leadership matters, of course, and we can all be glad as Ghanaians that if we, with leadership, we can turn things around. So this is very exciting.
A few other headlines.
A few other headlines, as is the 2025 tertiary scholarship scheme launched by the Scholarship Secretariat. Of course, I will be happy because growing back as a poor person growing up, this would have made some lives happy. And of course, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources dismisses claims of 1.2 billion bauxite lease cancellation to Rockshore.
Okay.
So these are the headlines.
Great. Yeah. Doc, you've got the Daily
Democrat.
Daily what?
Democrat.
Democrat. Great. What have you got on the front?
And this one has the Minister of Agric renewing ties with Korea in terms of agric support.
Okay.
We also have His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and the trade minister doing something related to agric and its development. And then there's SNIT, and this one has the picture of the chief of staff. I think he was at the SNIT event, and they are committing to making sure that pensions are always paid, and hopefully our investments are used carefully. I say this behind the backdrop of many SNIT, let me say, real estate that are underutilized or have not been, as it is, rented out or sold.
Yeah.
And every time I see them, I feel like people's pensions are not being properly managed.
Great.
I mean, yeah.
So. Well,
Jonta.
Great. Sorry. So what have you got on the front page? You've got the daily graphic, right?
I've got the daily graphic. Good morning to our viewers.
Good morning.
I've got the daily graphic, and the headline here is Boko violence deliberate. President Mahama directs peace enforcement. This Boko violence,
It's a major concern.
Something should be done about it because it's coming down south. We sit here and think that we don't get affected by things that happen in other parts of the country. But it's coming down south. We should watch it.
Yeah.
Boko mixed with Galamsey is bad. We should look at it. And then it says, BOG drops...
Yeah, BOG, right?
Yes, BOG.
Bank of Ghana.
Drops policy rates to 25%. When the policy rate is dropped in double figures, it still affects the interest rate, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
If it's dropped further, then it can drop the interest rates, right?
So now it has, I think it was 28, is now dropped to 25.
It's not. What's the interest rate?
The interest, it was at 28.
It's 28.
The policy rate was at 28.
Yeah, now interest rate. I mean,
25.
interest rates for private sector getting money from the banks. It's aligned to the policy rate.
Yes, it's aligned to the policy rate. Yeah.
And if the interest rate is still high, how does business go on?
But the policy rate reduced, I mean, it's going to affect the interest rate. It's going to come down.
Yeah, but how? Come down in double figures, come down in single figures. We want an interest rate at a single figure so business can thrive.
The businessman, of course.
Okay, yes. And then the last one here is GPCC calls for peaceful by-elections in Akwatia. GPCC, please remind me, what is GPCC?
Well, so we'll get to talk about Akwatia by-election briefly on the show, and then spend some time on that over there. But well, let's start with what happened to our colleague yesterday, Carlos Kaloni, and so we're going to have visuals rolling on your screen. So yesterday he was at the facility of Magdan, warehouse facility, which was demolished on Monday. So on Wednesday in the morning to try and cover the event. He was reporting for Joy News, was live on our show here on Prime Morning, was also live on the AM show, telling us what had happened. Now, in the course of that, he was interacting with some eyewitness who was telling him what he saw on Monday. Now, while he was doing that, and all of these accounts I'm telling you was what he shared with us, while he was doing that, then some men in military vehicles approached him. And if the visual on the screen, you could see that while he was interacting with the eyewitness, then a military man approached and he identified himself that I'm a press man. The eyewitness obviously couldn't get to say much. And then he was whipped, dragged, he fell down, and while on the floor, he continued to be beaten. And our cameraman was also told to stop recording. While all of that unfolded, our colleagues were standing there, but along the line, it does appear that the military men felt our cameraman and our reporter was still recording. So they approached him, and according to our reporter, in that exchange, he was punched in the neck and then punched in at his back. He says momentarily he lost, consciousness a bit, but regained it, and then he was driven into the military vehicle and taken to the National Security Office, the Blue Gates, and that's where he was for almost an hour. And all of this happened, and nobody understands why the military came to stop them from reporting on a warehouse that has been demolished. A demolished warehouse. Why the military will come and stop reporters from reporting on a demolished warehouse. Nobody knows who sent them. Nobody knows why they came there. But eventually, a colleague, was released. The presidency has released a statement. I'm going to share an excerpt of that with you. They say they condemn the act, and it was signed by the spokesperson to the president, Felix Kwachi Ofosu, and it says, caption, government condemns the attempted arrest of a Joy News reporter. Government describes it as an attempted arrest. Government condemns the attempted arrest of a Joy News reporter and the assault of an eyewitness by a soldier at a demolition site. Such actions are utterly unacceptable to the John Mahama administration and have no place in our democratic society. He says, I am directed by President John Dramani Mahama to unequivocally reaffirm his unwavering commitment to the freedom and the safety of journalists. A free and unfettered press is a cornerstone of our democracy, essential for accountability, transparency, and informed public discourse. He concludes by saying, government has accordingly directed the Minister for Defense and National Security Coordinator to investigate the incident and ensure that the appropriate punishment immediately imposed. Appropriate disciplinary and punitive measures must be applied without delay to ensure accountability and prevent future occurrence. That was the statement from the presidency. It does not recognize that the reporter was assaulted. He did report he was beaten, he was punched in the neck. It does not recognize that. The multimedia group also released a statement where they condemned it and asked for an investigation, a transparent investigation to be conducted into the matter so that we will have justice for our brother. It's completely uncalled for. The Ghana Army also released a statement where they said they are acting on the directive of the president, and they said, and I'm going to quote this from them, a statement that was signed by Captain, Ghana Navy, Acting Director, General Public Relations, V.A. Ahin, and it says that in line with the directive from the presidency, the Ghana Armed Forces wish to inform the public that investigations have begun into the inappropriate conduct of some soldiers during an encounter with some journalists around Spintex in Accra today, 30th July 2025. So that is what they said. They said that the investigation will be thorough, and those found culpable will be dealt with accordingly. That's the Ghana Army. This is uncalled for, completely unacceptable. And one wonder if the military were found to be not needed in the Ablekuma arena, and justifiably so. Why will the military be needed at a demolition exercise? Not even to supervise the demolition, but to stop reporters from reporting on a facility that had been demolished. We don't need the military for an election, but why do we need the military to stop the media from reporting on a facility that had been demolished? Completely uncalled for. Lawyer, you were shaking your head a bit, and when you heard the story, you said you were wondering why anybody would think of doing such a thing.
The first thing that has come to mind is, do soldiers have the power of arrest in urban areas? I'm not sure they do, unless it's specific, they have specific authority to be there. Now, I pulled up information to find out whether that was true. And what came up was, in Ghana, the power of arrest is typically vested in law enforcement agencies such as the Ghana Police Service. Soldiers, on the other hand, are part of the military and have specific roles and responsibilities. General principle, civilian law enforcement. In urban areas, the Ghana Police Service is generally responsible for maintaining law and order, including making arrests. 2, military role. The military's primary role is to defend the country against external threats, although they can be deployed to assist in maintaining law and order in exceptional circumstances. Is this an exceptional circumstance? Is it?
No.
What were they there for? And even if they had to arrest, they hand over to the police.
They took him to the National Security Office.
They don't have the right to do that. You see, President Mahama is the commander-in-chief. He should lay the rules down, because this is unacceptable. Were they provoked? Say you go into a court of law. Michi man comes. He provoked me. Did you see any provocation?
No. And even the eyewitness, he was just telling what he saw.
So why did he use, was it a belt?
I'm not sure what it was. Whatever it was quite painful.
Nobody has any right to assault anybody, especially people of the security services.
And while on the floor, you could see he was being kicked.
At the last by-election, where was it? Who slapped who?
It was a police officer who slapped a journalist, a GH1 journalist.
It is wrong. It is wrong. Look, the media is the mouthpiece of the people. The media is the first place the people go to when they have something they feel they can't talk to anybody. So why? The media, were they invited there? I guess they are a set of professionals who give news out to the people.
Yeah.
And the reason, and the person whose property was being pulled down is an influential person, isn't he?
Yeah.
McDan, isn't he? Everybody knows McDan. Everybody knows some of the things he's doing. People know him even more in the previous government than now. But he is known. He's been on your station so many times. So there is interest. In fact, when I heard the news yesterday morning, I asked myself, what has he done that they are pulling his warehouse down? You see, the act of pulling the warehouse down, nothing was said about that. There must have been a reason why. So what were the soldiers doing there? Who invited them there?
Well, hopefully we can get more details when the investigation starts, and hopefully the army will be very transparent about it.
And let's hope this investigation, when it starts, is not going to be shoved under the table. Well, the real reason should come out, because that soldier had no right whatsoever.
Yes, absolutely.
To assault anybody.
I mean, absolutely. Doc, what's your take on this?
First of all, I think that demolition goes through certain processes. And I'm surprised that we even go and do demolition and it requires army. It's unfortunate, but that tends to be the trend. I've seen regional ministers, go to demolition site with military, largely because of the behavior of land guards in this country. I don't know the entire story as to leading up to the demolition, that I won't focus on.
Yeah.
But I think that other journalists have also been assaulted. And it's about time we either engage the services in terms of how they conduct business and how they need to be very careful with media. And the fact that besides having civil rights, media as an entity has to be protected. And I think that it will take time. The culture requires that the police service, media service, both of you need to engage and reorient all of us ourselves. Look at what happened at Ablekuma North with regards to the policeman slapping, media. And what is troubling is that you can see appropriate identification, except for the fact that I think that having a jacket on might also have added, unless maybe the military men could not really see Joy News on the microphone.
But they saw it.
No, I'm just making my point that did they need additional things to see that this is a media house and for that matter, what they are doing is wrong? And certainly, I'm not impressed with the letter from the military. And if I could talk to the military, I want to tell them that per the constitution we have in this country and even their code of conduct, they don't need the presidency to direct them on what to do. I think that if our country continues in this way, we'll have problems. When people have acted out of line.
And we are waiting for the president.
You don't need, and this one I'm talking for all institutions.
Yeah.
you have a way of doing business, and it is appalling. For me, it is very appalling and administratively wrong for the military to tell me that they are working under the direction of the executive. You know, let me take this opportunity and commend the Army General in America who told Donald Trump in the face that he's there to protect the Constitution and not the president. And for that matter, they did what they did to protect the American Constitution. They were not acting under the direction of the president, but the Constitution. So I would beg to differ and say that they should go back and come. And sometimes even the military need lawyers to write for them. And I say this with the greatest of respect to the military, that I would rather hope that they come and tell us that they are working within the code of conduct of the military. And so are they waiting for the president to tell them to court-martial people? No. There should be a disciplinary process within the military.
So when somebody does something wrong, it's triggered quickly.
That should be triggered. And I speak, this one as a Ghanaian, and what I expect. It cannot be that somebody shoots somebody down and the police service is waiting for the president's direction. I mean, that is a very wrong mentality.
Well, great. Prof, let me bring you in now. Quick thoughts on this one.
It's reprehensible, condemnable, and no two ways about it. Journalists, no matter their affiliation and no matter what is going on, the people have the right to know. And anywhere you see journalists assaulted, it's our democracy and our very existence as a nation being assaulted. So I don't want to mince words about this. But what is striking is the agility of the presidency to stamp its authority on this matter and condemn it unequivocally. I think if we had started this years ago, we would have incrementally ingrained this in the psyche of Ghanaians to let people believe and to know that law enforcement is not about brutality. The reason why you find soldiers out there also has a lot to do with the Ghanaian mentality, that if you mess with soldiers, they are going to beat you. And if it's a policeman, you can do everything. Not long ago on this same platform, we talked about a politician, a leader of parliament that struck a police officer doing his duty during a demonstration. I don't think that would have happened if he was a military man. So our behaviors in the past have continued to justify why sometimes you need military, because the people resist. But that does not justify it. And I also think that the military hierarchy ought to understand over the years that there are times that they engage you to do police duty. That doesn't mean that you should bring military culture into it. We need to begin to internalize some civilian protocols in our training. And perhaps for some specialized units within the military, they receive some training in terms of dealing with civil matters. So you don't bring people who have a war mentality, a war training, and everything to come and handle crowds. It's long overdue. As a senior Commander said, it's not their responsibility to police in urban areas. But we all know that from time to time we bring them in. And it is not about to change any time. So is it not time for us in this country to begin saying that, okay, we will use military from time to time. So can we get certain specialized units within the military that will receive some police training so that they know that when you bring them to the city, they are soldiers, but they should act as police? Or we then say we don't want to use military at all.
But the police are equally, capable of doing their job.
They are capable. They are capable.
They haven't shown any signs that they can't do the job.
But over the years, we've realized that from time to time you have to include the military. It hasn't started now.
But
so I'm only saying that if we can't avoid it,
that has undermined the work of the police.
No, it's their training. These are people trained to shoot to kill, not to maim.
So they shouldn't be in the
So
urban
they
areas
shouldn't
at all.
be, yes, normally. But you realize that we are constrained. We are a developing country. We need to understand that.
Constrained about
and
what,
then,
Prof? What are we constrained about?
Well, I'm saying that we are sometimes compelled. He mentioned land guards. He mentioned a whole lot of issues. You see, today it's convenient to say it, that the military shouldn't be brought in. But there are times that you, even the journalists, are safe because military is there. Let's be face it that way.
So there's a fundamental problem about people's trust.
Let me just ask you a straight
People
question.
trust in the police.
Let
Why
me
don't
ask
you
you-
resolve
Exactly.
that?
Let me-
Resolve
Exactly.
why the police are incapable of doing their job.
It's the Ghanaian culture.
So
it's
let's
the cycle
resolve
of the
this.
people.
Not, find another.
That solution is not going to happen overnight.
we
That's
have
what
to
I'm
do it.
saying.
We have to
That's what I'm saying, Akwatia. If you had military men there, you won't have this violence. And you know it. We all know. Yes, in Ablekuma. In Ablekuma, this election, if you had military there, you won't have this violence.
Or if we had FPU.
So that is the issue here, that we continuously have to sometimes resort to the military because the Ghanaian civilians, to a certain degree, do not respect the police from time to time. Boku like this, you saw what they were doing to police. Let's face it, you take military men there, they won't do it. I come from a place, nobody fears a policeman there.
So, Prof, why?
They shot the
It's our
IGP.
psyche.
So why?
It's our psyche.
They
It's
shot
our
the
education
IGP.
system.
It can't be.
They shot the
That's what I'm
IGP.
saying. That's what I'm saying. That's what. No. We can't run away from it.
Well, we are going to.
I condemn this act, but I also have to say that we, the citizens, have to admit that from time to time we use the military
Yes,
to back
you
up
do.
the police.
Well,
so we
nonetheless-
should begin to orient the military in some aspects of civilian policing.
engagement with
So yeah, there's a way to solve it. It's a long-term solution.
That's a fair point, because I think ordinarily, if the military man, you see a journalist reporting an incident and you just want to make some inquiries, you can engage him.
And if I can add just one thing, it's not just even journalists. These days, any private individual can be recorded as an eyewitness.
Yeah.
And you dare not go and manhandle an ordinary civilian who's capturing an incident. And the media houses know this. Many of your videos are from individuals
It's
at
community
a
journalism.
scene.
That's what is happening.
And I think that this reorientation of the security services need to be done, so that they appreciate that you don't brutalize, victimize people capturing. If you are acting in a very professional way and you are being filmed,
captured?
and let me also add that there was no cordoning off of the area, which you then say that they were in a restricted area or anything like that. So this is very serious. But to conclude, the military service has a code of conduct. They do not need President Mahama to instruct them on what to do. And that, I think, verbiage is
But let me ask one question.
unacceptable.
Do we fear the military or we respect the military? They're two different things.
Yeah.
It's more fear than respect. If it's more fear than respect, then it means the onus lies on us and the onus lies on the police service to demand that respect or to show people that they can be respected.
Yeah, and they have to do
what it is that they are supposed to do.
If they stop the one CD for your pocket, maybe
my boys no be here. How can we respect you?
That's
if I come to
so
today,
police
and
need to stop
if I come
one
to you
CDs
today,
for your
and I say,
pocket.
Ms. Bao, and Pacho, Mami 5 CDs. Would you respect me? The moment I turn my Mr. John Trapa, what is it? Would you respect me? You don't respect me.
That's a very fair point, really fair point. And we will be waiting for the outcome of the investigations that the military is doing. We'll be following it closely. This matter obviously is not going to die anytime soon. Journalists must be protected. They must be allowed to do their job in this country.
Eyewitness as well.
And the eyewitness as well, yes. Eyewitness as well, because we need them to help inform the Ghanaian public. We need them to help inform the Ghanaian public. That's very important. Well, let's get into roads now, because government says they want to engage in a massive road development, and the road minister, Kwame yesterday was at government accountability. Abuja was at government accountability series, and I'm sure we'll bring you excerpts of what he said very shortly. But he did point out a few things that I found quite striking in terms of the debts we have in the road sector. Huge debts. He says government has commitment to the tune of 124 billion cedis That's the commitment government have. You know, that's what they inherited. Yet, if you look at the budget for the road sector as of last year, was just 3 billion cedis. 3 billion cedis. And that is in no way going to be able to meet those commitments. But they are looking to spend at least some 13 billion Ghana cedis in their big push agenda, which is intended to, you know, develop some major roads in the country. He highlighted some of the roads that they will be doing. And guys, if that's where we can hear from the minister now, and then I'll again come and hear from our panelists what the problem is as far as our road infrastructure is concerned. Why is it that government after government, this very issue continue to persist? It's almost like roads that are constructed, a new government comes, and we are told that, well, the road that was constructed 4 years ago has deteriorated and it needs to be rehabilitated. All right, it's a lot of work. So let's hear from the minister now.
But when the project was awarded, it's multi-million-dollar, but there's no dedicated source of funding. So government in the past paid part. The contractor was not on site. And when it started raining this year, you saw the frustration. And rightly so, we know drivers, community members, everybody was unhappy. I met some of them in my office and to hear their frustration. They are not in it alone. We are all in it. If I'm going to Kumasi by road, where else would I pass? So I'm a victim as well. So we wanted to take an action. And I must say that as we speak, the contractor has been paid some money currently. And I am expecting that the contractor's activity on site must pick up quickly, because I know we have paid some part of his bills to them. And today, I can confirm that some payment have been made to the contractor working on a Fankor project, and we expect that the activities on that side should pick up, so that at least we can create a safe passage for the motorists whilst we work towards completing the rest of the project. Well, I mean, I know we have paid in excess of 300 million Ghana cedi. Yeah, well, that is the financing model of the Fankor project. This was GOG. And then I must say that some of our colleagues who spoke on the other side were saying the project was not funded. I mean, it was GOG project, but you remember the $750 million Afri-Exim loan. Then they gave the contractors, some of the contractors, part of that money. But because it's a one-off loan, it's not sustainable. That money has been spent, so the project is back to GOG. So we need to find the money and pay them. That is why President Mahama directed that it should be captured as big push. So we will prioritize the payment for the completion of the Fankor project, the same way Kaswa to Winneba and beyond.
So that's the road minister there highlighting especially that very road, the Fankor and Soham road heading to Kumasi. It's one that has raised a number of concerns. But I just want to share something really interesting with you, because governments plan to spend some 13 billion Ghana cedis in the road sector with a big push. It's massive. It's the biggest investment in the road sector in recent years, because I just did a deep search to try and get a sense of the money that we've spent over the years in the road sector, the investment that successive governments have made, and you look at it, it's a lot of money. This is in excess of 30 billion Ghana cedis, spanning from Mills time all the way to Akufo-Addo time, and the Mahama government alone is looking to spend 13 billion Ghana cedis. It's a lot. But they also mentioned some roads that will be constructed. Let me just mention a few of them. And if you're watching us and your road is in there, obviously you'll be smiling. And we hear that there's going to be the construction of a new bridge on the Oti River at Dambai. There will be the rehabilitation of Wahan Road, upgrading of Tumu Hamile Road, and the reconstruction of Navrongo Tumu Road, rehabilitation of Techiman Nkonsa Wenchi Road. We hear that, and there's going to be the dualization of Cape Coast Takoradi Road, the dualization of Winneba Mankesim Road, rehabilitation of Penyi Aflao Road, and we also hearing there's going to be the construction of Enchi Elubo Road. So many roads, quite a number of them that the minister, finance minister, even in his fiscal media budget review mentioned, about 32 of them, and a few other ones that have been selected as part of the big push, numbering about 13 of them. But on the Malam stretch, the Malam Highway, there's a major problem there also. It wasn't captured in the, road minister's statement in terms of the roads they want to rehabilitate. But there's a big problem on the Malam Highway. And for those of you who use that very stretch, you know what I'm talking about. So let's take a look at it.
On the Malam Highway, and this highway is a 7.5 kilometer stretch of road which is meant to serve the people of Malam all the way through to Kaswa and beyond. This road, I'm told, was constructed in 1997. Well, it went under a rehabilitation in 2012 under the N1 project. So what is the state of the road? Well, it's unfortunate to announce that it is a corridor of chaos. I'm talking potholes, I'm talking exposure of rails. This is life-threatening for commuters and drivers on daily basis. That's why we're here to bring this to the attention of authorities. And so why don't you join me? Let's hear their voices and let's see what we take home. My name is Sheila Sechi. Why don't you stay tuned?
This year, in fact, no quite okay. You road in Mumde, but this year we they were to Makra. Well, first, not Numuyati. First, near Breba
top one, only do here pa.
Top one, me person would describe it. We are driver, me sure sorry how much. We are Juma how much. The we are top or a tutuno. Saying number one a how okano.
How many said top one over. Wa mark when tia ka say bojent tarod and usme gbin saka bibia ofiwa kire bana ute break ahwe ni mpo wa ba pim utu nti top one de ohan pa o say wo hwe na o siesie maye ama bibi ni a fine
e kwan no at the same car at the same bottom.
Oh, kwan de enye say una ma auto portals mi say na bodwantin na say achievement bi say okọ abusoka ko spare parts be sheka na so mo ya asphalt man kaka some that fat to some lay free
from Makati Junction to Sakama Junction no enye kura ti amamudu anapa traffic e ba no edoso odua nimbra you see akronfo hyehyehye overhead na say and then last week lady be Uchumako across Kwano by say 8 o'clock omochi ni ji ne pass na ni who's can phone na
the focus was on the highway project, and at the moment after the highway, the road, the condition of the road has gone so bad. It has gone so bad to the extent that it's really appalling.
Until now, how I hear from Mohani say, I sang no. Say a quantifunu waka waya hono titiri wetu akwangu mu a kata abo nti nyanka ebe hian say bia abang bitima gwa ne nya okwanga ebe fa so betu akwangu mu na ne ebo aye ngasa ngabo aye bibiri ni say aye school we memorial methodist school no wako high obi a otua ne ka nti ne school fu no ponga ono wetu akwangu mu
free kaso abesenko kaleshi no busy road nti amaye twemu a ye bre na zebra crossing bia so ne ha na ni overhead bia so e be fa so nti ama cars no muntumi ngira amaye
kodan so ma no enso ye amene kura ne
we the free Malam ha na Kasua de call La Paz no and also nyekra anti omo hwe ma
the state need to say
ofa so that one also no pie na dade na mo de joint to joint no so ni nyina ayi ama kwane so ai basa ofa so to me tire na de.
So as you can see, there are a lot of potholes, and then drivers are having difficulties merging and then maneuvering and all that. So I feel it's not the best. I mean, there was this time that they said that they were doing the year of roast, and I figured they were going to add this one to it and then complete, but then it's still the same. I mean, it's been like this for a long time.
Thanks for joining us. This is still Prime Morning. My name is Sheila Sechi.
Yeah, that was Sheila there. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. You know, this is a major road that can connect you to the central region. You can go all the way, and this is the state of it. And Doc, let me start with you because you were even talking about some of the you apply that road a lot, so yes. You're very familiar.
Yes. In fact, today I'm very happy to see this story, and it's not about politics. Our roads need a lot of work. And in terms of opening up the place for business, what is also troubling, which I didn't hear, is light.
Yeah.
At night, the place is so dark and it's not safe to drive on our roads. In fact, the entire one up to motorway, I think, for some strange reason, we don't have lights. Beyond where she was standing is the connection to Pokwase.
Yeah.
At the Awoshi end. And that also has no lights. So this is within Greater Accra region, and is unfortunate that is the state of our roads. And I think our maintenance culture needs improving. And we claim we don't have jobs, but there are jobs in this country. If we can manage our maintenance culture well, look at that road not swept. I mean, and these are places that you cannot put human beings there to sweep. You know, elsewhere at the hours of about 4 a.m., there are machines cleaning these roads. And let me add that the bridge, those I don't know what they call them, but
connectors,
the gap connectors, very troubling. And I know that some people fill them with pockets of sand, you know, to make it smooth for drivers to commute. And in fact, it's been causing major traffic sometimes.
Yeah.
Because once you get there, you have to stop.
You have to slow down.
You know, you slow down, and there are multiple portions of that. So when you plow that road, you'd realize that, there's no traffic ahead, but it's just because of those stop gaps. And I remember troubling Jerry Ahmed because, I mean, listen, he's the current MP for that area, and I can understand his frustration. This is not something a member of parliament has a budget for, you know, and mind you, you might get tossed around as to who is responsible for ensuring that these things are corrected, because highways will tell you something, urban roads also tell you something, and sometimes it can be very frustrating. I think that this is a fantastic video that we need to put at the doorstep of Honorable Abuja, and he has to find a budget to resolve this road. I mean, from Accra Academy, in fact, even Kaneshi Market, you know, it's a disaster. So this is a major road in Accra, and it needs the attention. And I also need to add my voice to the other various connectors, which opens up Accra, you know, to Kumasi, to Cape Coast, to Volta region. These corridors are very important, and I think if we're a serious country, we need to find a way to reduce our travel time. And, you know, let me add that dualization of roads reduces accidents by a huge factor. A lot of accidents in this country are because of overtaking and meeting oncoming vehicles. So I really strongly believe that dual carriages, or even 4 or 5 or 6 tier type, very important for accident reduction on our roads.
Well, great. I'm not sure the state of the road in your area. Why don't you tell us about it? What's the state of the road in your area? What's the state of the roads in your area? Send us a message on WhatsApp. If you've got an image to share, why not? You can share it with us, and we'll see whether we can also share it with the road minister, because he's out to try and fix the roads issues. Lawyer Janto, let me bring you in here. This government big push agenda, Doc was talking about the challenges it's likely to face because of the debt in that sector. We've got a huge debt. He says the road fund owes some 7 billion Ghana cedis. The GOG component is 20 billion Ghana cedis. It's a lot of money they have to pay. And the minister, when he was speaking at the press conference, says, he literally threw his hands in the air. He said, we'll find a way. We'll find a way. We will not be able to sort it all out, but we'll find a way. Is this feasible?
I thought, and Prof would be able to correct me, I thought the concept of the big push was going to be financed with oil revenue.
Yes, yes. Apparently, so he captured, the finance minister captured it, that the oil revenue and all oil revenue is going to be used for the big push agenda.
Yes, big push agenda.
Yeah.
And we haven't done exploration to production in 8 years. The one that we discovered was just recently E&I. So in terms of even funding, we would have to be able to export a lot of oil. Right now, we are in the last phase of GNPC's take. There are 3 phases every year. We're in the last phase of the next GNPC's take. When does the money come in? So it has to be planned well. Now, this is my take on it. I believe that before we even come to the public to say all these things, we start with the public by auditing all the roads that were done by the NPP. Once you audit it, and bring the people along, because the people who use the roads, once you audit it, and this is not political audit, this is an audit that would show which roads are done, which roads need maintenance, which roads need to be done. Then publish it in the dailies for people to read and people to see, so that it is not politics.
And just to mention, at the press briefing, the minister also highlighted that a massive audit had been done. In fact, the government commitments which he referred to, he said the former minister of roads mentioned that government commitment was around 105 billion. He went in there, did an audit, and realized that it was actually 124 billion. So from 105 billion to 124 billion.
Ms. Bao, this is the kind of politics I don't like. In court, before you appear in front of a judge, he is the defendant lawyer, I'm the prosecution. What do I use to be able to prove my case? There'll be evidence. Evidence. So if you're saying this, bring the evidence. Let's see.
Publish it.
Yes, let's see the evidence. We're resetting the country, aren't we? And if we're resetting the country, we need to be clear and transparent as to what we came to meet, as to what needs to be done, as the kind of maintenance we require. I'm not one for ministers coming to say, and when we came, this was there, and when we came, this was there, and then down the road, they can't do what they say they want to do. Number 2.
Because even the president mentioned that there were some contractors who apparently have received double payments. Yes. We're going to look into it.
So bring it out and let us all see. Let the people be part and parcel of it. Because why? You know, be the people who voted them into power. Are they not responsible to the people? Every government that comes into power is responsible to the people. Make the people part of it. Then the bit about building the bridges, I think is fantastic.
Especially the Otidamba.
I'm telling you, it is fantastic. It brings communities together. If you look at China and their development of bridges, the kind of bridges the Chinese have built, communities that never could have come together, especially over large expanse of water bodies, has brought them together and has made them even much better and much richer. So I think that is good.
And lawyer, and even when it comes to the bridges and the roads, I think one of the issues we've also had in this country is the cost of food produce because of the state of the roads. Because
some roads don't even connect.
Some don't even have roads.
So they struggle to bring their produce here.
That is why the audit is important. Now, let's go to the technicalities of it. I've been in this road industry for 10 years before I went into the oil industry.
Awesome.
Now, there are two types of roads. There's the surface stress road and there's the asphalt road. And there, in fact, three types, and there's the paving block road. The asphalt road, if the substructure that you use to build the road is not solid, and especially taking into consideration the kind of weather we have here, what you then find after a while is bleeding. Do you know what bleeding is? When you see asphalt rising from the bottom and then the road starts doing zigzag, zigzag. The moment it starts doing zigzag, zigzag, the heat hardens it and the road sometimes is unpassable. And sometimes your car drives on it and your car is shaking that way. So we need to be able to decide which roads are going to be surface roads. And surface stress roads are those roads that you use gravel to do. And the gravel is stronger and much rigid and much turgid. There should be certain areas where we use asphalt. But if you're going to use asphalt, do it well, so that in 10, 15 years, there's no bleeding on the road. It is, and it's all got to do with the substructure, because if the substructure is weak, it rises up and then spoils the surface. The quantum of asphalt that you use is also very important. The quantum of tar that you use for surfaces is very important. Number 3, road safety devices. President Rawlings would never commission a road without road safety devices on the road. What are road safety devices? The markings on the road, the signage, the grills on the side of the road, the zebra crossing, reflectors, all those things, especially the markings, because within the markings, there's something called glass beads. That marking is powder, which you put in a machine that turns it into liquid. Now, as you lay the markings, the glass beads are also laid simultaneously. What do the glass beads do? Because you don't have reflectors on the roads, that glass beads illuminate the line marking. So when your light falls on it, it's illuminated and you can see where you're going. That doesn't happen. What is the use of building a good road but people are still dying on the road because there are no road safety devices on it?
Awesome. Let me bring Prof in now. Prof, I mean, this is your government. You are very ambitious about what you want to do in the road sector. And the big question, and clearly lawyer indicates that, where you want to source the money from, it looks like you might have a challenge.
Yes, thank God we are being led by His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, who has led by example and has instilled in us some level of modesty and sacrifice. And we are beginning to see cuts here and there in the things we do in order to save money to tackle very vital needs of the people. We see the Ghanaian people as our clients, and we have to treat them well. And I came from the academia. I used to have the belief that politicians say something in public and do the opposite in private. Yesterday, I was at the Jubilee House for orientation of CEOs. And for once, I never heard even once, this is how to beat the system. This is what to do. All we heard yesterday is, if you misbehave, we will come after you. That was the posture, that was the leadership we saw in there.
But would the government succeed with this?
The government will succeed because there is leadership. I have always said that if you look at what we are doing now, as an economist, and what the NPP did, in terms of the policies, you don't see much difference. The only difference is the leadership. So as for policies, people can copy policies. But the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, prioritizing, resetting the institutions, resetting our public sector, making the people in power accountable to the citizens, is producing the results. And that's what people say it's not sustainable, it's gone 7 months and it's still going. It's the leadership. Once the leadership is sustainable, the policies will be sustainable. And I'm saying I don't want to be Honorable Agoja in this moment. You are looking at owing about 120 billion, and the book push is just 13 billion. And lawyer said it rightly. If we want to do that audit here, the same people come and tell us, we are lamenting, we should do the work, we should keep quiet. Because it is serious that some government declared a year of roads. It was like a year of say you are going to spend on roads and then divert. Because the year of the road was marked by the worst destruction of roads. If you take the year they declared as year of roads, it's the year you can say roads got destroyed in this country. Places were dug up, contracts were awarded, bridges were even disfigured in the name of going to construct roads, and now they've not been constructed. That is the kind of scene we have in this country. You are talking of this road. I'm happy. You can even pass on it. Where I come from and the places I used to go, because at the University for Development Studies, our students went to all the nooks and crannies of this country for our third trimester practical training program, and we had to, most of the time, go in there to assess them. If you see the roads we had to, this road you are showing would have been celebrated with a very oh yes, in some of these places, this road you have shown, and they will celebrate you for this.
They'll be happy.
They'll be happy to have it.
That is an
Yes, it speaks volumes to what's happening, and we have to face it. That if we do a road audit here, you'll be shocked. All those billions of cedis that we said we're putting on roads, and yet nothing has happened.
But you are rest assured government will deliver the big push agenda.
Government will deliver the big push agenda because everybody has been oriented to know that government is not a place to make money. Government is not a place to go and loot. And every day it's thrown into your ears that if you misbehave, I will come after you. Great. And I will take that green letter.
Ms. Val, I think we've got to a stage where we need a strong national development plan. To take into consideration all the roads in the different regions and then put a time scale on how we're developing these roads.
That's brilliant. Because this whole issue about stalled roads, this one starts, is abandoned, and new government comes and starts a new road. I think it's not the best way to go, definitely not the best way to go. But we wait to see how government will deliver on this agenda. We'll be following it closely. But come September 2, the Akwatia by-election is going to happen. The NPP have selected their candidate. They say they did a research in the community, and it does appear that in the constituency, and it does appear that the people say they want Solomon Asumedu, who is the treasurer, the constituency treasurer. So they decided not to go and have any primaries at all. And they have spoken to all the other candidates like Amase, who expressed interest in contesting, and they've all agreed that Solomon should go and stand. But for the NDC, they are going to hold their primaries next month to select a candidate to face Solomon in the elections. They haven't indicated that they do not want to contest, but will they have a last-minute change of mind, especially after getting that two-thirds majority in Parliament? Someone is asking, what do they need an extra person for? What at all do you need an extra person for? Well, let's see. We were planning to speak to an NDC rep. We'll try and get that. But let me just start from you, Prof. Great. I understand he's on, right? Great. Well, we understand he's already on. So let's get to it. And he is Mahdi Gabriel, the Deputy Director of IT and Elections, NDC. Mahdi, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning.
Great. Just confirm to us, is the NDC going to take part in the Akwatia by-election? Will you take part?
Yes, NDC is taking part of the Akwatia by-elections. That's why we have started our preparation to elect our candidate for the elections.
So far, how many individuals have expressed interest to contest this your primary? So when is it going to take place?
We have 3 individuals who have picked nomination. They've returned their nomination from yesterday, which we call submission. Today is the vetting day. By the close of the day, we'll finish our vetting today. Then on Monday, 4th August, we'll conduct the elections to elect whoever will represent us in the elections.
Amazing. When you look at that particular constituency, in the last 2 elections, you've lost it. You've lost it. And the last person to have won it was Baba Jamal. Is he somebody you are looking to bring, and tell us why this seat is important to you, especially having had two-thirds majority in Parliament. Why is this seat important to you, first of all?
First of all, it is not true that it was Baba Jama was the last NDC candidate who have won that constituency. From 2012, it has been NDC, MPP, NDC, MPP. 2020, it was NDC. Before this, 2024. So it's a constituency that is a 50-50 for both parties. However, two-thirds, when you come to the issue of two-thirds is about working in Parliament. But the people of Akwatia need somebody who will champion development in the constituency. We know, especially with politics in this country, the last time when MPP were going to the judicial by-elections, even when NDC was not contested, the NPP campaign then was that don't vote for the independent candidate because he cannot go in to engage the government to give you developments. Today we have the opportunity now in Akwatia, where the government is the NDC, who is championing the policies of resetting agenda. Our opponents also are fighting against the resetting agenda. So at this point, which of the candidates will you elect at this point who can champion the reset agenda that also can have impact in Akwatia? So it's also about Akwatia, not only about Parliament, what they do in Parliament. So we are going for it, and we believe that God willing will win the seat.
Well, the NPP say they've done their research, and there's a strong indication that they're going to win the seat. What does your research, if any, suggest?
The grounds will show. They did a research in 2024 and told us that if we cross 30%, then we are lucky. It turned out to be something different. When we were going to Ablekumanoff, they told us they are stronghold. Even with the 19 police station, they told us they were leading by 13 police stations. But we went and won the constituency. So let's get to the grounds and see what the research will show on the 2nd September.
Well, someone is wondering, in some other circumstances where an MP loses his life, very unfortunate, you decline to contest out of, some sympathy, etc. Why have you decided that, no, I mean, although it's unfortunate that the Member of Parliament lost his life, you still want to go and recapture the seat? Why won't you just let it go and use it as a sympathy, use it to express your sympathy to the MPP?
No message.
You're right. Yes, there have been some elections that the NDC didn't participate. There are also others that also will participate when the Parliament MP passed. However, don't forget this constituency before the MP passed. The NDC was challenging the seat already. So the dynamics here is different from the other ones that the NDC didn't participate in it. We were challenging the seat already. So let's go and end up to see whether truly we won or MPP won the constituency.
But I'm just curious what your trump card is. I mean, what gives you the confidence that the people truly want to give the seat to the NDC?
It's between development and the press conference and workout from Parliament. At this moment, who are you going to select to go to Parliament from your constituency when you have the opportunity that a government in power, a minority in power, in Parliament, who have sworn that they will not support the government to even develop this country? Their aim is that the government should not succeed so that they will win 2028 elections. What we are thinking about today. So our trump card is what the people need, and we believe that they need development. Akwatia, if you know the dynamics and Akwatia very well, they are lacking development, and we need a parliamentary candidate, MP, who can go in to lobby for projects in the area.
Well, finally,
these are things that sent to the constituency.
Well, just finally, though, we saw what happened in the Ablikma rerun. I mean, very unfortunate incident in terms of violence, and your party was. Some elements in your party, allegedly, were the ones who orchestrated that. And people have a lot of eyes on Akwatia because some are feeling that there's possibly going to be some revenge of a sort, from the NPP side. What commitment do you have to the Ghanaian public that you conduct the elections, you do your campaign, and ensure that what happened at the Ablikma not rerun does not happen in Akwatia?
It takes two to tango. And for us and the NDC, we have given our word and assurance to the police that they should take over the Akwatia by-elections. Whoever misbehaves, the law should deal with the person. We also met the Peace Council last Tuesday, and we also gave them their words, because we believe that we have a biggest responsibility in these elections. At the end of the day, if we were able to manage this election without violence, it's to give a credit to NDC, because we are going to the general election 2028. How will the country see us? How will the people see us if we are not able to manage the peace in these elections?
Yeah.
What happened in Ablekuma is unfortunate, and we have urged that Electoral Commission also will play a role. The last time I even told them when we met at the IPAC, issuance of feeding accreditation. This time around, they should manage it. Ablekuma, they did do well. They promised to give us only 10 accreditation, but finally they gave NPP about almost 30 accreditations. So it allowed many people to visit the polling stations after giving us 2 agents in the polling station. This time around, in fact, the last time when I went to IPAC, I also told them that we would prefer that every monitor as an officer from the national origin should have his name on the accreditation card. So that when you are visiting a polling station, you only go there without anybody following you. Because usually when you go to power elections, you find former MPs, former ministers, city current ministers visiting polling stations. And these people always come with people following them. Because they are going to visit the polling station, most of the time people will follow them. However, even if they visit the polling station and leave, at times it's better. But some of us, when we go to this polling station, we want to stay in at the polling station in the center where the activity is going on. Whereas you have an agent there. So we have urged that this time around, monitors of the election should always only visit the polling station with their tags name on it. And they should only enter the perimeter, only the only person who go to enter the perimeter should be the person carrying accreditation. Not just once it's a former minister or a minister to be allowed to enter perimeter, because our agents are there already to monitor the exercise. So we are assuring Ghanaians and the public that these elections to be peaceful. We have a biggest responsibility to keep peace in this country.
Well, Malam Highway, thank you very much. He is Deputy Director IT and Elections with the NDC, and he's confirmed they will be taking part in the Akwatia by-election. They are getting ready to have their primaries, and they're committing to peace in that election. Lawyer Kwame Jantua, it's very important that that election happens peacefully, especially after what happened in Ablekuma. Are you confident that these two parties will conduct themselves in the manner they are promising they will?
The confidence lies in the hands of the police. If the police can go in there and make sure that law and order is exercised, then there won't be any kerfuffle between people who are going to vote. It should be a peaceful meeting. But I think what the NDC government should do, especially from President Hamer's side, let's institute the Ayawaso West Walk-on recommendations. I think that is key. I mean, if you read those recommendations, it could plug a lot of the holes that we're experiencing now with elections. I don't expect that we go to elections and we are fighting and killing ourselves. For what? What's the use? What do you get out of it? Where Akwatia is concerned, it's two things. If the NPP do not win Akwatia, it would further their woes. It will show that still something is not right in terms of how they are reorganizing. If the NDC win, it will just add more flavor to them. For me, it's the people in Akwatia that is most important. Whoever wins, that person should be able to bring the kind of development that is required there. I don't know, you're a journalist, so you might know more than I do. All the past MPs who have won, both NPP and NDC, what has been the degree of development that has come into Akwatia? It should be something that those voting should look at. And I hope it's not going to be one of the elections that is where, what do you call it? When people decide they won't vote. Apathy, is it apathy?
Yeah, voter apathy.
Where apathy comes in.
Yeah.
Go vote.
Or voter suppression.
Voter suppression.
That one too.
From who?
It's possible. It does
From the Electoral Commission.
From the electoral.
But fundamentally voter apathy, where people feel that, no, look,
people
I've
feel that
voted for many years, I'm tired,
vote again. These people, they won't do anything. It is your right to vote. I don't see why the question is being asked, NDC, you have two-thirds majority in parliament. Why do you want to vote? It is their right.
Great. Doc, let me bring you in. The Eastern Regional chairman of your party explained why they decided not to conduct a primary. He said they did the research. It suggests that the one particular person that people want to replace the former MP, and it does appear that there was some consensus in that regard. I'm not sure what your position is. Do you support the move by your party?
I think there are positives to what they've done. And underneath all of this is that, quite frankly, there were some two camps. And sometimes I like to put it out there. And those two camps, if we continue on that path, will not be good for the health of the party.
Are you talking about the Amase camp and the Solomon camp?
The former MP.
The former MP's camp.
And that is Kumi, NS Kumi.
Yeah.
So they wanted, NS Kumi and Amase.
Okay.
So they wanted somebody who is not tainted and who can then, as it is, bring everybody on board, so that there isn't necessarily people who are heavily and actively working for one particular camp. And I think it speaks volumes. And that is why some of us also think that, forgive me, but we also think that the bigger party itself also has similar issues. And that's why I work for Brian H. Ampon.
But do you stand a chance? I mean, what the NDC is taking into that constituency is huge. On the back of what they've recorded so far in the economy in the country, they're telling you that we are doing big push. You want roads? Vote for us. We'll bring you roads. That's a huge campaign message they've got. What have you got to offer the people?
As for the roads, looking at what my own party did, I take it with a grain of salt, largely because I weep for road ministry in the sense that it's belabored with a huge debt, and Jantua strategically made us known that getting the funds will be difficult. So we'll wait and see. And even the minister himself made a very strong point or argument that the road contracts are in several millions, and yet the funding was not attended to.
So what will be your message to the people?
For us, let me just be very straight with Akwatia. First of all, they've been swinging. That one, I don't know what informs them to do 4 years of NPP and 4 years of NDC.
Dissatisfaction, I guess.
But as it stands now, I think that there certainly is some factor of sympathy that we cannot discount, in the sense that the demise of this fantastic member of parliament may impact them in ways beyond just roads, ways beyond just the things that the NDC will throw at them. I think that Ghanaians naturally like to mourn the dead and also show some level of commemoration with the family, that though things are or maybe positive with the NDC administration, we want to be with you and show our support for the late Ernest Kumi. And for that reason, and there are many reasons why people vote, and sympathy cannot be discounted. And I believe
you're
that...
banking on their sympathy vote.
I'm not banking. I'm just saying that the emotion... I mean, Ghanaians are emotional. And for all you know, they would look at the legacy of, Ernest Kumi, this short period, 6 months, to say the least, and what they had hoped to get from him. And in truthfulness, they are more certain that the NPP people will be more committed to continue the vision of Ernest Kumi.
Prof,
so that's my...
You're hearing Doc. I'm not sure he's hoping that the sympathy dynamics will come to play for the NPP. Your director of elections says, look, they have the message. They are doing well. The people might buy into that.
First of all, I want to, I'm in government, so on behalf of government, express our condolences to the people of Akwatia. We would rather not go into the elections under these circumstances, but the constitution is what it is.
But you go opt out.
Yeah,
you have the choice to opt out.
Yes, we would have opted out. Me, I would have advocated for us to opt out if the NPP were using the numbers they have in Parliament well and responsibly. I would have asked, less out of sympathy, give them. After all, what they are doing, we already had the two-thirds majority even before Ablekuma, because some of the independent candidates were aligned to us and they caucused with us and we were comfortable. But we went to Ablekuma because what they are doing with the numbers they have, boycotting Parliament when budgets are being read, going to sit down and weep. When people are called to account, you go and sit down there and sing your national anthem. I don't know it very well. I don't know whether it's called We Shall Win to Share Ghana or Save. I don't know.
Party anthem, not their national anthem.
And their party anthem,
Exactly.
thank you. Yeah. So that is the problem here. Akwatia people have a choice. Whether they are going to bring an MP that will come and join to do government business, to push the agenda for their development, or someone who will come and boycott Parliament, go and sit somewhere and wail. That is the choice they have to make. For NDC now, we don't campaign. We tell the people, look at what is going on and make your choice. We are delivering results, keeping to our promise, sticking to be disciplined, being modest, trying to exemplify who our leader is. And then every day, we keep delivering results, and people get to say they are not it's just short term.
Do you think this election will be, in quotes, crucial? This is like crucial.
One thing about the NDC is that we never underestimate anything. We take every constituency seriously. And that's why you saw the NDC winning seats in the NPP stronghold, because we went in there seriously to compete. And out of respect for the people, the vote we are coming to ask for, we treat them well. That's why we say they are our clients. You need to look at it this way. We are going into Akwatia to tell them that it's straightforward. We don't want another person joining this bandwagon of doing anything to distract government business. That is period. And then also, we have been struggling to stick to our mantra, even though it's difficult given what we inherited. But through discipline, modesty, led by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, we have so far delivered. We have turned the economy around, one that was reeling in debt, all the fundamentals pointing in the wrong direction, and all the rating agencies telling us that it is not worthwhile lending. That will be enough. And these messages are going. Today, you can at least go and buy something at a particular price, hoping that by the time you sell it, you can go back to the supplier again and buy and come and sell. We have stabilized inflation. So by and large, the economic environment is improving, and there is results for us to point to even in 7 months. And that is what we are going to do. We are not going to do propaganda. We are not going to go on.
Let me see what some of the people have been saying.
Is that look at what we have achieved.
If some people in Akwatia at all have been speaking, let's see what they've been saying. Some of the messages. There's going to be a lot of them on the roads issue there, because I can imagine almost every community in Ghana has road problems. Well, let's see. Let's start from the bottom here and get some of them. All right. Let me see. Let me start from. Great. Let me start from here. It says, Okay, dear host, the alleged assaults on Johnny's journalists covering the demolition of a warehouse must be condemned in no uncertain terms. However, Afenyo Markin also assaulted a police officer, but no arrest or invite of Afenyo Markin has happened. So I want to know if we have a law for the influential in society and another law for the downtrodden. Our laws are supposed to be colorblind. Good morning, Charles Champon. Okay, this one also says, good morning. What happened to the journalist yesterday was appalling, and most well-meaning Ghanaians must condemn it. I hope the aggressors are punished and publicly shamed. That said, can anyone report on what happened to the gentleman given the interview who was assaulted? Did he sustain injuries? And yeah. So great. We'll bring you more of that on trends. Then also establishment of funding programs tailored for startups and small business access. Okay, you're talking about any, and maybe we'll have that conversation some other time. Tell us what you think about some of the issues we have here. Greetings, Joy Prime. My brother, stop bothering yourself for reading those condemned memos. Can't you see we are in an era of 1979 and 81? Since John Mahama is resetting the country, the president himself has admitted and encouraged violence is in his DNA. So don't be surprised about, well, interesting, violence in his DNA. Have you checked the president's DNA? Good morning, please. I want to ask, is the boy beating a journalist? Nothing shows that he is a journalist. He's an eyewitness. He's a civilian. Nobody should treat another person like that. And like lawyer was saying, you don't assault people unprovoked. Good morning. So please tell the NDC man what is wrong is wrong. The treatment meted out to journalists and the eyewitness is very bad. I think he made that point very clearly. This one says, good morning, my brother. The way you hosted the program yesterday with the listening viewers, you were not happy at all. Why should you? Okay, why am I not reading your messages? Well, I'm reading them now, but you didn't send any messages. You just came to complain. Interesting. I got to read your message, and you rather just came to complain. Johnny's report has confirmed 13 journalists have been assaulted in Ghana between January and today. This is unprecedented. The safety of journalists is in danger, he says. And it said how Komisin, Lord Amwa, Nana Lord and others were brutally tortured. Still talking about some of the things that have happened so far under this government. And he says, if you truly want to act, the culprits are known, just punish them, he says. Okay, there's Meshach Asante at Amasaman. The government accountability series is in the right direction, which indicates how transparent and accountable this current government is. The road minister was up to the task yesterday by showing the government commitment to fix roads in the country. One major road which the government should critically look at is Accra-Kumasi Road. That road has now turned into death trap. The rate at which innocent people are dying on that road is so alarming. It takes courageous persons to use that road. I believe in President Mahama, and you're confident that he will fix it. Well, the president says he wants to build even an expressway on that. Hopefully we'll get to talk about that more. He said, I am writing to bring your attention to the deplorable state of Afieman Maira Road. The road has become very troublesome for commuters due to its poor condition. The road surface is filled with potholes, making it difficult for vehicles to navigate. This not only causes damage to vehicles, but also poses a significant risk to the safety of drivers, pedestrians, and cyclists. I kindly request that government consider taking urgent action to repair and maintain the road. Great. Okay, this one says, Master Planner. What is the NDC communique saying? The year of road was the year many roads got destroyed. President Nanado used pickaxe and cutlass to destroy the road. He's asking, he said President Nanado has constructed roads more than any government in the Fourth Republic, and it is evidence-based. I can talk about the Kintampo Pran Road, Kintampo Zongo Inner Road, Kintampo Chiramu Road, among others. You should give us a break. Okay, well, this one also from Sami Boache in Asamankese. Why are you people failing to acknowledge the facts? With a president who seems unconcerned about brutality and the politicization of critical issues like Boko crisis, what can be expected from military personnel? What have they done about Ablekuma 5K men and their brutality? What is McDonald's transgression that warrants the destruction of his property? He says, Musa Abattoir also says the OSP decision, we haven't, okay, anyway, the OSP's decision to summon Paul Adamotri over alleged corrupt practices involving the Ghana Airport Company. Well, we haven't spoken about that, but yes, that also happened. And you say it is a step in the right direction. Okay, it says, good morning, host. JM is right. The conflict in Boko is deliberate and politically motivated because Boko was peaceful until NPP appointed a rival chief to further their interest and gain some political advantage. Again, the warmongers also looted ammunitions to fuel the conflict and destabilize the state. Okay, we all want peace in Boko, so whichever be the case, that's what we are all asking for. The state of our roads is appalling. The stretch from Makati to First Light is particularly bad. From Makati to First Light. That's really true. Now, with numerous potholes. Now, starting from Makati, there's a massive pothole in front of the MTN office. For that pothole at the MTN office, is you just don't get it. Followed by another near Odoko and more at the traffic light, Dakuman Junction. This guy is very precise. Dansuman Junction, which turns into a swimming pool when it rains. It's true. And Atiko Junction. These potholes are not just a nuisance, they are a hazard. The poor road conditions are detrimental to both the citizens and everybody. That's so true. And interestingly, somebody is also texting and talking about the Makati Road. Wow. And Doc also made reference to that one. He said, and indeed, and Prof, maybe you'll be smiling to this, indeed, the second independence the NDC promised Ghanaians is happening with okay, you will not be happy with this. I thought this would be a message for you. It's happening with insecurity across the country. And, more about the assault on the hosts. It says on the Joy News journalist covering the demolition must be condemned in no uncertain terms. All right, great. So it does appear we still have a lot of messages, but we'll try and read them. Hopefully we'll get them more on our show as the show continues here. And we'll get to talk more about it. Well, Lawyer Jantua, at least you've got like some 40 seconds to tell us your final remarks on this.
I think the sad point where Akwatia is concerned is other parties like my own.
CPP.
Yes, the Nkrumah's groupings that really don't seem to want to push into the limelight. I think by-elections would be a good place to test us. But we don't seem to want to partake, and I think it is something we should look at. The Nkrumah's groupings are split, and Ghanaians don't like split parties. So I always appeal that let's try and come together as a front, as Nkrumah's parties, and don't let us be thinking about who is going to lead it or who is not going to lead it. Let's start building ourselves up. We might not be able to win 2028 if we build ourselves up, but we can start getting people into parliament, which then brings another dimension into the body politic of the country.
The last person who went to parliament on a ticket was Samia, right?
Yes.
That's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago. So let's see how that
works. And we need to. We need to start doing something.
Let's see how that works. Doc, any final comment? And I mentioned that I'm in Doc's constituency, and that road. You see, I don't know if you're familiar with this, Doc, but when you get to Insufa Junction, you're passing behind KK Prepara. There's a road that connects. It can lead to Sotom. It can connect to Santa Maria, come down to Antique and go into Santa Maria. That road is wicked. It's wicked. You know, at the very least, if the DC MC is former NDC parliamentary candidate in the last elections, if it's listening, Alote, you know, just bring the gravel, like come and lawyer, what do they call it? Bring the machine and come and level it a bit. The money is not ready. Just do that for us, you know.
We have feeder roads in this country that will level more than the roads that we have in Accra.
Well, let me say that roads are very dear to voters, and as a government, if you take them for a ride, you pay to some extent. And I think that our attention to roads, there should be a bigger solution because I want to be frank with you that what the gap is and the money is available quite tiny. So we really need to rethink. New Jersey does a lot of tolling, and maybe as a country If we privatize road production and tolling, and the rates are known, maybe we'll have more people looking to do roads once they know that for the next 50 years, it will be told and they'll get their remunerations. Maybe that might be one way to go, because some places like New Jersey, even Colorado, does a lot of road tolls and they have fantastic roads. So we need to attend to our road issues, not an NDC, NPP, but we really need to, because we're all joking, trust me. The amount of, the quantum of money is needed to address our road gap is
phenomenal.
Is huge, and we're talking several trillions, and it requires an FDR mindset to make it happen. And we tickle ourselves too much in Africa. I think that we need to be truthful about the gap and find a way to really hold it by the horns. I watched a video yesterday of somebody really holding a bull by the horns, and my goodness, now the idiomatic expression is so...
It's making a lot of sense to you.
Yes, so our roads need, I wouldn't say real men, it'll be sexist, but I think we need powerful financial tools to address our roads. In the England and the US, roads have been done 50 years ago.
Cobblestone roads.
50 years ago.
Doc, finally though, we know Kwabena Japan officially announced his candidacy. What's happening in your camp?
Oh, we are going 120%.
Are you going to do any official, like we saw?
We do massive things, but well planned. So I think the most important thing, as you well know, our visitation with former President Kufuor to inform him, he's like the father of the party, really. And then the former president also will be coming in, soon, and another Dankwa Akufo-Addo, which we'll have our visitation with as well. And I can assure all of Ghanaians, let me put it that way, and more specifically the delegates, that Honorable Dr. Brian Champo will pick the form and make full assurance to the people.
Well, when is he expected to pick the form?
That, I think, deliberations are ongoing as to how to go about it. Within the NPP, there are two types of strategies. It's either you go big and pick the form, and still go big again and pick and drop it off. But we're toying with it. And
what's the essence of that?
Well, politics is about excitement and numbers, euphoria. But the truth of the matter is that our candidate, Brian Champo, is usually a mute type of person. So we're going to encourage him this time to make sure that we go big.
You're going to move with them.
That can win you the election.
No. It's the politics is about optics. And so a few may go and pick it up, but as in the submission, la ilala ilala, the grounds must move.
Sometimes sometimes the candidate himself does not go and pick it. A group says, well, we believe he's going to do it.
In the vision.
Come to pick it on his behalf.
But I can assure you that... Let me add that in truthfulness, over the past 2 months, we've made monumental gains in terms of, making inroads within the NPP in selling the case of Dr. Brian Champo as being a unifier. So I had to put that out there.
You see, the question is, you might win the party. Can you win the country?
Well,
we have to start from somewhere.
You took my minutes to talk about Brian Champo. You will see me backstage.
Prof, final words. You want to say all that?
I have a corporate affairs director at EPA, and of late, I think that she's up to her duty, and I want her to do that more. And let me focus on the policy and the strategy. So, yes, I'll be sending her out here, and you can ask her anything. One of the things I want to say is that the NPP is a party now. Just like they are going into the Akwatia top-down, selecting a candidate for the people. You saw how we do it. We could have told people step aside and let this one, but we'll let democracy play out. My good friend here is optimistic, but at the end of the day, you are going to select somebody just like they have selected this parliamentary aspirant. And Brian Champo will not be allowed to win. So I don't understand why you are getting overly animated over this issue. It's a top-down selection.
Why would you be allowed to win?
No, we know the party now. They are a packaging party. You know, even their way of trying to solve their problems now. They are avoiding the problem and trying to package. Whilst people are delivering, they are always looking at a message they can use to deceive the people. If it is not a lecture, it is a media stand and all those things. And that is the problem. Brian Champon doesn't matter why he does. At the end of the day, they have to start from. He will not be allowed to emerge. This is a highly structured system that awards its candidacy based on some unknown criteria. And at the end of the day, that's what is going to play out here. I'm not the one saying it. Doc sitting here knows that he's feeling it. Well, so he shouldn't just put it on me.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for coming. Joshua, thank you very much also for coming. And Doc, thank you very much also for coming.